now we want to follow an urban explorer who traveled to a supposedly haunted shrine in the middle of the night. She heard a lot of creepy ghost stories about this place, and ever so often these ghosts can apparently be seen. But he didn't fully believe in these tales, but nevertheless wanted to document his nightly visit. At some point he notices a garbage bag which is placed on the stairs to the entrance. And then there is a weird noise. Something creepy was peeking out from behind the tree. Some people commented that this could be one of the evil spirits that is said to roam the area. Could this be? It certainly doesn't look human. Thank God the explorer didn't notice it, only after rewatching the footage at home. The following video was shared by Felimundo, and he tells us that he had captured it via Snapchat to share it with a bunch of his friends. Apparently, the young man was standing in front of his aunt's house in Gainesville, Florida, to smoke a cigarette at around 7 a.m. in the morning. He then noticed a strange reflection in the door right across from him. The interesting part about that, the neighboring house was still uninhabited after the owner had passed away a few weeks prior. Feli states that whatever was captured here wasn't fully visible to the human eye, and the creepy details only surfaced after rewatching the footage on the phone. A creepy face is staring at him from the upper part of the door window, and then it just vanishes into thin air. Feli even checked after that to make sure that it was no intruder, and he could find nothing. Do you believe that this could have been the former owner, perhaps? The young man also goes to say that this was not the only really weird incident on this piece of land. Only the first that he could capture on camera. Interesting. Do you know the feeling when googling up your name and then realizing that there is even more personal information out there than you'd like? This is a scary and very uncomfortable feeling, let me tell you. Data brokers are out there trading your full name, email, home address, health records, and even your relatives' info. That's why I rely on Aura. Today's video sponsor. Aura identifies which data brokers have my information and automatically submits opt-out requests on my behalf. By securing my data, Aura not only cuts down on spam, but also protects me from hackers who might try to access my social media, bank accounts, or other sensitive information. Did you know that AT&T revealed that over 73 million customer records, both existing and former customers, were released on the dark web? They advise using strong passwords, monitoring account activity, and considering credit freezes or fraud alerts. Aura handles all of this for me. Plus, I don't need multiple apps to safeguard my data. Aura takes care of everything. If my data was part of the AT&T breach, I wouldn't be worried because Aura is always on, working hard to keep me safe. And I value my privacy, and I value yours too. Start your 2-week free trial at aura.com/frostmare or click the link in the description below. The next clip was uploaded by Q and comes to us from Japan. The premise of this video is quite simple. We see a man taking a tour through a house that seems to be called the House of Mirrors. It does seem quite normal at first. However, as the man makes his way through, there does seem to be an awful lot of mirrors. Creepy. Ghosts and mirrors have been associated with each other for a long time, and for a lot of people, mirrors can give them a serious feeling of unease. They are believed to be portals to other worlds or windows into the afterlife. Could this be why this house is so filled with them? Back to the video. The man is walking around a particularly dark portion of the house. When he peeks into one of the mirrors, and we see a door opening behind him. Spooky, right? But by far the creepiest moment is this one. Watch and see for yourself. Something seems to be appearing right behind him. A person perhaps. Impossible, however, since this place was abandoned. Was it an intruder, or did something paranormal unfold here? Extremely scary in my opinion. Techie Viga has posted the following. Apparently, there were several weird incidents taking place in their home, and this fact caused them to put an Amazon security system up. One day it captured the following image. Vega believes it to be the image of a ghost that was just passing by. Could this be so? This video was uploaded to a channel called FrostmareTV, which is owned by a young man who is supposedly living in a pretty haunted apartment. He states that he sometimes could hear some really eerie noises in the middle of the night. And ever since moving into the place, he also felt like he was being watched, but could never really put his finger on what exactly made him feel this way. One night he was recording a piano lesson, and this was when the eerie incidents that are about to follow took place. The recording was pretty old, and I fully remastered the footage for you guys. The young man is obviously experiencing a pretty malevolent and powerful haunting in his new place. And if that isn't terrifying enough, he had to acknowledge that a dark shadow entity was standing right in his living room that night. Possibly causing all the interference with the television, as well as all the objects that were being moved around. And no, he did not see this thing at the time. He would have bolted out of there, he states. It's quite the creepy thought, knowing that some evil force seems to be tampering with your devices late at night. The man had no idea what this thing wanted from him, but it is said that he moved out shortly after realizing that he wasn't alone that night, and I can't blame him for that.
The following clip was sent by Adrian, and it was apparently shared by a channel called Secret Guides, which is a place where paranormal investigations are being shared with their viewers. In that particular case, the owner states that this was shot by a man who was doing a walk around in his house. It seems to involve a poltergeist manifestation even.
Right here, I think. It's coming from the cupboard.
He hears unexplainable knocking from the cupboard when right behind him.
What the is that?
Something turns on the television.
Right, you saw that the TV just turned itself on. Right, that sounded like it was coming from the bathroom. Look. What, this room here, completely empty.
Then things starting to being thrown around.
Bathroom. And there's nothing. Where did that even come from? What is that? Shadow. What is... Oh God, you saw that, right? That looked like a human. There's no one here. Literally no one here.
A shadow then is walking across the floor. Almost looks a little bit too good to be true, in my opinion. And more like a person in a blanket.
What is that? Oh, the tap's turned on. The tap has turned itself on.
Just a really bad hoax? Let me know, guys.
See, this is what I get all the time.
The next video was sent by Ryu, and he tells me that it was recorded during a protest several years ago. The man that was filming was basically just documenting this evening and panning his camera around in the audience, you know, for documentary purposes. However, after rewatching the tape with his family the following night, they noticed that there were a couple of frames that revealed something grim looking. Ryu tells me that he believes it to be a demon, or malevolent entity that was around that night and got captured by coincidence. But could that be so? Look at the huge mouth of that thing. Whatever it is, a terrifying event.
Yup, yet another really weird CCTV encounter that left people baffled on Reddit. The following video was forwarded by John, and it is said that it was initially captured by a family. It was when they were routinely checking the recording one night. They saw an odd object popping up on screen, and weren't sure what exactly was happening. People point out that it looks like a human-sized apparition, which pops up only a couple of seconds once a car is driving by, which led many to speculate that it might have been an incident that was related to some of the car's passengers. Who knows, maybe that was the case, or was it simply a glitch caused by the camera lens? A very mysterious encounter, whatever the answer. The following video was forwarded by Entienne and initially published by Pasillo. It was recorded in an old house by a young man who states that paranormal activity has become an almost daily occurrence. He moved in recently and didn't really think anything of the activity for the first couple of weeks. Loud noises and things falling down, in most cases, can have a rational explanation, right? But when he started to see the shadow of a little kid once in a while, he realized that something else was going on. The man has no pets, so whatever he recorded in this video lacks any kind of explanation, at least for him. A strange moaning can be heard, which freaks our cameraman out quite a bit. But due to the fan and the car noises outside, it's not really possible to pinpoint exactly where it might have originated from. This would appear like a pair of eyes, which, based on him having no animals, is quite the unusual sighting, if we believe him, of course. There's also something else, hiding behind the sofa chair, but what exactly is it? Almost impossible to say in my opinion. Could it be a real haunting here? The following videos were shared by Tristan, who seems to be dealing with some otherworldly activity in his very own home. He notices that a lot of his personal items were moved around, and doors open and close on their own, and even his chairs travel by themselves. This is why he decided to place some stationary cameras to record these strange happenings. Do you see the shadowy figure moving there? It left Tristan pretty startled. And it appears that the activity worsened after this. Now these forces were also playing with the electricity in his home. and even unseen forces that were trying to enter closed doors within his house. Here he seems to have captured this transparent shadow being once more, although hardly noticeable. It seems to be moving around in the other room. One night he was watching TV with his girlfriend and his dog when the activity scared everybody. It is unclear if the activity is still going on, but it's safe to say that the couple doesn't feel safe anymore at this point. The following clip was recorded by the dashcam of Pedro, who was out this night to deliver some goods. His colleagues swear to have seen weird things on that particular stretch of road, and it would appear that Pedro himself could catch a glimpse of that. He noticed what appeared to be a pale woman sitting on the right side of the road. She doesn't look human at all, and I find that her fingers in particular are looking extremely creepy. Pedro saw this with his own eyes at the time and decided against stopping to see who this exactly was. But it is said that this might have been something otherworldly that was greeting this oncoming truck. Spooky. The following video comes from Japan and features a few paranormal investigators walking through a thick forest with an old abandoned cabin. The investigators are seen peeking through the windows and around the side of the house. Nothing strange really. But after getting home and checking the footage, they thought to have noticed something. They slowed the footage down and noticed something truly terrifying. Something appears to be peeking out of this old hut. Is it a woman? A homeless person, perhaps? The uploader states that he, however, thinks that we are seeing a spirit here. Do you think that could be so? Unsettling. The following recordings stem from a channel called The Dead Man's Hand. He appears to explore abandoned places with his friends. On the hunt for the paranormal, they made it into an abandoned building at night, and the description says that he could capture some demonic growls.
What are you talking about, man? Where's my flashlight? It's just like a building. Let's go to another building. Yeah, we're going to another building.
What the? Alright, I just tripped myself out, but I got it on camera, so it's alright. I just saw someone on those stairs. I swear to God.
To me, the first one surely sounds more like a burp than anything. The video ends abruptly after capturing the second one, so I can't determine it. But what do I know? What I find way more interesting is the following capture that the camera operator made in another abandoned house. The group opens a locked door to the second floor of this building. The cameraman is the first person to take the stairs, and it is up there where he comes across an ominous apparition.
Careful about the floor, bro. I'm looking down through it.
We should definitely go one at a time.
I definitely don't want to do.
Alright, I just tripped myself out again. I hopefully got that on camera.
Some say it could be a devilish figure, escaping to the left. I have really no idea what this could be myself. The following was uploaded to Reddit by user Light Surgery. He states, I just got a motion alert from my doorbell camera, and this is what it captured. It appears to be a shadowy figure leaning around the side of the house and then walking off past the neighbor's car and onto the street. The house is opposite back onto a cemetery. My house is a Victorian terrace house in London, UK. I just bought the house and I'm currently renovating, so lots of change going on inside. I'm pretty terrified. People think that it looks like this thing has humanoid features, but does somehow look like a ghost. The quick movement is also pretty unusual. The man never found out if this was indeed something paranormal or just a scary person. What is your opinion? next clip was shared by Unusual Things and initially recorded by a security guard who was on patrol one night in a local shopping center in Brazil. Colleagues of the man have often talked about the strange sightings, customers that could be seen, although the mall was closed already, but also the cleaning crew reported of their equipment that was being moved without anybody around. Pretty strange. Tonight, the security guard couldn't believe his eyes when he saw this. A woman in white that is taking the escalator. How odd. The woman is seen again, moments after, as she's making it out of the area. The security guard seems to have lost sight, only seconds after that, unfortunately. So, what do we think? Did somebody play a prank on him? Or was something otherworldly going on in there? The next few videos were shared by WV Paranormal, and they state that at night they heard some really odd noises in their yard, and then things started to appear there as well, and that's when they slowly started to document all of that. Let's take a look. A bobcat, perhaps? What was that? Oh, wow, that looks creepy. So it ran out of the woods towards him? Look at that. Is that a lady in a dress? Oh wow, that really looks creepy. I mean, that's no bobcat. Well, maybe at this point we kinda can be certain that something else is going on. This is not an animal, guys. Let's see the next video. Oh yeah, another silhouette. Look, what is that? Is that like two eyes, a super weird nose, and there's the mouth? Now, I want to hear what you guys think. What is like spooking around in this dude's yard? Right behind his kids? Once more for good measure. Huh. I mean, at this point we have to say, either there's something really weird living in the forest. I don't even think in his yard anymore. Now we check out another Reddit submission from user mgirl. The young woman suspects that the security camera in her grandma's bedroom, in which her little kid was having a sleepover one night, captured a spirit which was visiting her little son. She states, "This was years ago, and the camera wasn't high resolution and choppy, and I was never sent the video by my aunt. She only shared this picture." My grandma had passed away a few months prior, and I believe her spirit was comforting my son that night. You can see her as she looked around the time she passed, the varicose veins and her easily bruised lady skin, covered with bruises due to her blood thinner meds. her hair not done, and the same moo nightgown my grandma wore often. So, could the young woman be right, and her son was visited by the spirit of her late grandma? Ross Allison has posted the following part of an investigation their team had held in the Homestead restaurant one night. The old restaurant is located in West Seattle. It is said that they were checking out the perimeter at the time when they noticed something strange appearing on one of the team's members' cameras. They had no idea what it was, but it was clear after a few minutes that it had to be in a User ScaterDad has shared the following unsettling happenings on Reddit. He writes, "Ghost in my mom's bed. She's only been living there for about 3 years. She's got the camera set up because she kept having things move and hearing things that shouldn't be. She's fully aware that it doesn't belong to her. It all started with the camera capturing these weird rods. But what freaked them out to the core was this apparition over her bed. People asked if it couldn't have been his mom on the picture, but he declined that. A terrifying thought though, picturing that something unseen is watching you at night. That close." After a family member had passed away, this young man was documenting the state of the building the deceased person was inheriting before. He had to make sure that all the belongings and family heirlooms that he found were well documented and listed. As he started to record inside the house, he believes that he had captured the ghost of his relative. Looks like his relative was standing right behind him when he was checking out the mirror. Or was it maybe just a strange light anomaly? Sarah has sent me the following video, which is named "Strange Noises Coming from Grave in Iran" and was recorded by Truth Eyes. All that is said is that weird noises could be captured that seem to be stemming out of a burial hole. And that's creepy by itself, I find. Let's listen.
While these noises are pretty nightmare-inducing, I wonder if it could have been caused by an animal. A homeless person, perhaps, who for whatever reason made it into the grave, or something from another realm.